Start the titles. Run VT. Right, we should be live in a second. Just running the titles.
You opened it. We paid.
Good evening and welcome to Fortean Words. We are live. We are live from the Fortean Words Telegram. If anyone wants to pop in and ask us any questions, do it. Otherwise, otherwise Hobbit's gonna start singing.
Yeah, well, I thought to myself, like, why don't we use the great thing that is the Fortean Words chat with the 65 members in it, and just go and have a look at all the stuff we got there. Like, the most recent thing that's been posted, we've got a photograph in there, and if you're part of the phone-in audience, you can look at it. And if you're not, we can probably put it up on the thing. It does just, copy and paste image, OBS slave. And it's a picture, and I recognize this because this is from Mario 64, and is it the level select? It's the starting, it's basically the starting house place thing. And in it, there's a checkerboard floor with a octagonal sun.
Actually, that's got less points than the Mario one.
Oh, and whereas you look at a Freemason lodge, you have a checkerboard square with a circular sun in it. And yes, it's got less points. So it's two 5-pointed stars superimposed on one another. Whereas the one in Mario is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's two 8-sided stars superimposed on one another. It's called Princess Peach's Castle. So now there's a couple of people in the chat, not going to name their names, Dom. They're saying, do I have to download Telegram now? You don't have to download Telegram, but the way we're doing this phone-in thing is if you're on Telegram and if you're in the Fortean Words chat, you can just join in and you can say whatever you want, whatever subject is. If you want to talk about why is it that television's shit now and Hobbit's watching Columbo. So,
yeah, what were Columbo's supernatural powers other than just like irritating people? Until they said, for fuck's sake, I did it. Just fuck off, you horrible little Jewish man.
Oh, was he?
Oh, that was good. Everyone.
Hello, Phil. Welcome to the phone-in show.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a quiz on Bollywood Rectory, ghost quiz.
Yeah.
You can take the quiz and you can tell us how many you got.
Midsummer Murders fan says Columbo is shit.
Columbo is alright.
I think it was. I watched an episode today about like a doctor who strangled his wife and got his girlfriend.
He only did really middle class murders, though, didn't he? He didn't give a fuck about regular people that got shot, did he?
Yeah, but that's because fucking regular murders, it wasn't really as seen. Like, regular murders are a bit fucking easy solve, aren't they? Then, look, a basketball American has shot someone. Oh, look, there's all the evidence. Case fucking closed. End of show.
Yeah, so that was the thing. The Columbo investigations did take a bit of, nuance and thinking and stuff. So, premeditated murders as opposed to just, you've missold me this chicken meal. Actually, you haven't, but I'm going to murder you anyway because I demand an extra 5 pieces of chicken.
Yeah.
So the Borley Rectory quiz, you can get it there. I got 5 out of 15 questions correct because I'm an expert on Bollywood Rectory.
Yeah.
What is Bollywood Rectory?
It's not Bollywood Rectory. It's Borley Rectory.
Yeah, but it's next to the woods, right?
No.
What is it? Explain to me what it is, because it's just a
Borley
random
Rectory,
word.
I think it was in the 20s, was considered England's most haunted house.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
that was good. So I'm just scrolling up a bit more, and we got like Nathaniel Soaks. Hello to Nat Sock. Talking about the Flat Earth episode.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to try and do his voice. Flat Earth theory is a function of the paranoia people feel in this cancerous culture. They know they're being lied to, so they've made up an explanation that conveniently avoids the topics that might end you in prison.
Correct.
Like shape-shifting lizards and fucking aliens from Mars are distracting.
What about fluoride in the water? Because there you go. It's safe. It isn't fucking safe, honestly. It isn't safe. Fluoride is not safe,
seems
by
to
the way.
avoid being imprisoned when he talks about shape-changing reptilians.
Isn't fluoride a heavy metal? Or am I thinking of
No, fluoride comes. It's called, what is it? Sodium fluoride. That comes from a reaction that's caused from aluminium mining and things like that.
Yeah, you use cryolite to as a catalyst for refining.
If you do fluoride I thought fluoride was on the periodic table, wasn't it?
It is, yeah. But the fluoride they use, the sodium fluoride they use, is a toxic chemical. Yeah, and if you look at the history of fluoride, I'm not doing that weirdo motherfucker or anything, but it is dangerous. And if you look at the peer review fucking data that's been done in the last couple of years, they'll tell you straight up. They'll say, yeah, it's fucking bad for you. You shouldn't put it in the fucking water.
Just to let people know, this episode is brought to you by the element of iodine, and so it turns out you've got these glands, right?
So what's the shortened term for fluoride then? The letters.
Sodium.
F.
So it's
F for
F.
F.
I'm just going to look at the periodic table. There's FL. It's FL.
No, it's F.
The fluoride they put in the water comes from a byproduct that they make when they do industrial fucking mining.
Sodium fluoride is not on the periodic table because it's a compound. It's a compound.
It's a compound. Here's the history as well. It's a really dangerous compound that a lot of because when they make fertilizers and things like that, they were left with a lot of compounds.
Okay.
These compounds.
All right.
And you've got a choice, right? You can either pump it into the atmosphere and destroy all the fucking agriculture. That's a bad idea. Or you can store it in plastic fucking boxes and build warehouses forever and bury it. Or you can pay scientists. You can pay scientists and say that it's really fucking healthy if you dump it in people's water.
So here's the thing: why we got the different compounds now. Fluorine is a gas, and that is on the. It's an element in the periodic table.
So
it's
sodium fluoride is Na and F.
Yes, I know.
What's it? It's a racist.
So that's right. So here's the thing. We got the various compounds of fluoride. Now, you may have noticed on your toothpaste something called sodium monofluorophosphate. Sodium monofluorophosphate.
I've got my toothpaste because I'm based. I have non-fluoridated toothpaste.
Well, I'm assuming some people that listen to the show have...
the fluoride, it's fluorine, and it says fluorine on the periodic table.
I have
so that's a halogen then.
Toothpaste. Yeah, it is.
It's all fucking dangerous to put it in the water, and it's fucking bad for you. That's the bottom line. Do your own research.
It's a toxic waste, and they've managed to convince people that you should have it because marketing. Bit like how they did the same thing with fat, saying fats are bad and you should have sugar instead.
The problem is that no water filter gets rid of it as well. So if you think, I'll use a bit of water, that won't do anything.
Yeah, you can use what's called a chelation element, which is a bunch of aluminium. And it's funny, it's not a chemical reaction, it's a physical reaction, where if you have atoms of aluminium, the fluorine atoms will be suspended in the middle. They've not
too complicated.
found It's just holding physical. The best way to get rid of fluoride compounds in your water is to not have it in the first place. But the second best way of doing it is to distill your water or use reverse osmosis. Now, you were mentioning about fertilizer. I'm glad you mentioned that because you see, phosphorus mining to make phosphates for soil, because the main fertilizers, I think it's called N, P, and K. So the N is nitrogen, the P is potassium, and the K is the P is phosphorus, the K is potassium, because it's that weird
stupid bullshit that fucking scientists do, where they confuse you so you can't understand their gobbledygook language.
Well, it's like, why is sodium on the periodic table Na? Because it's natrium.
Should be S.
Well, it's the old term for it's natrium, and the Germans still refer to sodium as natrium.
So why is lead Pb then, Hobbit?
Because it's plumbum. The same reason that silver is Ag, which is argentum, and gold is Au, which is aurelium.
Okay.
Now, the phosphorus mining, when they were refining it, they noticed that all the plant life and livestock around the refineries would die. Because it was releasing fluoride gas.
So what does non-metal mean in the periodic table sense then?
Anything which isn't a metal.
Oh, okay.
Pretty standard.
Sorry, which is quite interesting then, because you can say there's a thing called metallic. Well, you can have something called metallic hydrogen, because is hydrogen a metal or not? It depends. If you get it at a supercritical pressure and temperature, it is metallic. So going back to the phosphorus mining, going back to the phosphorus refining, it was killing all the animals around it. The farmers are complaining, so the phosphorus refiners said, right, what we'll do is the chimneys where it's coming out, we'll spray steam into it, and that will bind up with any of these dangerous chemicals coming out, and it works.
Oh, that was called a scrubber, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a chimney scrubber, and that technology was a positive spin-off also for coal power stations, because they used the same technology in them. Because remember all that thing about acid rain? Yeah, well, it turns out if you just use a scrubber in that, you can turn the sulfur dioxide that was released from the coal into sulfuric acid, and then you got it in barrels. So yeah, the sodium monofluorophosphate is a toxic byproduct of phosphorus refining. That's why you notice some toothpaste say sodium fluoride, others say sodium monofluorophosphate, some even say hexafluoroacetic acid.
They just wanted to get rid of. If you look at the history of it, you've got these big fertilizer manufacturers. They're left with this shit. You know, the third law of thermodynamics. Essentially, you're left with this shit that you can't do anything with it. So they were in a position where they were like, right, we either pump it into the atmosphere and kill all the fucking life on planet Earth.
To be fair, that same thing did give us Marmite, didn't it? We've got this shit left at the bottom when we finish brewing. Let's sell it.
Oh, well, that's recycling yeast. I mean,
that's what I mean is the same principle.
If you can stomach Marmite, you can stomach like fucking sodium fluoride.
The thing is, they don't do this. I swear to God, I'm not being a schizophrenic fucking David Icke or anything. Look up the peer-reviewed research. It's dangerous. Like modern day. Here's the thing: when they did the early science on this to prove that fucking that putting this in the water supply would improve dental health.
Hold on a minute. Bromine is in the same group. They used to give soldiers bromine.
Yes. Bromine, iodine, chlorine, fluorine, and what's the other? Oh, well, I suppose I could just look at the ptable.com.
Astatine and tennessine.
Oh, the ones which don't really exist.
Oh, well, the original paper to prove that fucking fluoride in the water would be healthy was based on essentially
calcium fluoride.
Whatever, right? They essentially said that because in certain areas where they put fluor or whatever the chemical in the water supply, that their dental health was better than other areas. But the areas they were comparing were really, really wealthy areas where everyone's fucking rich, and really, really poor areas. And obviously, That's not good science. So, like, modern day scientists look at that data and they say, that's bollocks. Maybe it's not the fluoride. Maybe it's the fact that they're rich.
I think I could even remember there was a thing saying about like a dentist saying, well, look, this result here, which I'm basing on calcium fluoride, which is naturally found in like Thames water and stuff. You know, people have been consuming that since prehistoric times. And, well, if it really made them that brain damage retarded, we wouldn't have Oxford University. Because a lot of people that went to Oxford University actually originate from Oxford and have been drinking Thames water. So
it's about the levels that are in it. But also, if you look into it as well, people overdose on the recommended amount as well.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, the other thing, the easiest way to argue against this is you all right, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say it is beneficial to have fluoride salts in your diet, or no, to be applied topically to the teeth. However, it's not beneficial to be ingesting it, showering it, giving it to your pets, or spraying it on your lawn. I mean, you don't need to medicate your grass.
I mean, what we should say to them, what we should say is, we should say, listen, I know you want to get rid of this fucking toxic byproduct that you can't get rid of. Just dump it in Africa. Fuck it, that's what I'd do.
Well, I just send it to China like they normally do, because we sell all of it. Send all of our nuclear waste to China, don't we?
We'll send it Africa, and we'll say, listen, it's going to make your teeth healthy.
Well, you know the incredibly friendly solar panels. They're created in China because there are chemicals used in the byproduct that you just aren't even allowed to use in this country.
Hydrofluoric acid. Is what you need that in order to wash the quartz crystals of any impurities after you've been cooking them with coke and coal in a furnace, because that's the only thing which will get hot enough to melt quartz. So it's the thing about it, right? So you can make all your arguments whatever you like, but let's say it is beneficial to have some sort of fluoride compound topically rubbed on it. You're not going to get around the fact that, I've already said that bit. The bit which I haven't said is, in the United Kingdom, we've never had fluoridated water up until last year, and Rishi Sunak said, yeah, you're having it now. And I know people are arguing against it, but you're evil white men, so, you're having it. But then again, isn't he also punishing like the poor disenfranchised BAMEs because they also drink the same tap water? But prior to that, the only places where you'd find fluoride in the water was Southampton. Well, I was going to say Southampton, Birmingham, Cardiff, and the Republic of Ireland.
Bias in the chat, Phil. Bias in the chat. He says Phil thinks all the chemicals are turning the Chinese into super soldiers.
A little bit, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Listen, this is what's happening. They're putting fluoride in the water. It's turning everyone into a homosexual. I was going to say another word then, and it's also all of this shit, man. I'm telling you, right? If you look into it, fluoride's fucking dangerous. It's a byproduct that the evil fucking capitalists couldn't get rid of, so they fucking paid scientists with shit science, and it's shit science because they went, look, we've put fluoride in really, really wealthy areas where people got loads of money. Their teeth is better than the poor people. And only recently did people go, hold on a minute, that's terrible science. That's
it's a bit flawed, isn't it?
It's a little bit flawed.
The thing to say with that is, as well, is that all these places in England, so again, Birmingham, Southampton, and Cardiff, Wales. Okay, so United Kingdom, those are the only places. Coincidentally, those are the places where you find aluminiums being refined in this country. So,
correct, yeah.
A bit of a fun coincidence that cryolite happens to be a catalyst for aluminium refining, which is aluminium fluoride.
It's weird how wherever we're fucking producing this fucking toxic byproduct, that we dump it directly in the fucking water.
Yeah. Where it's in the Republic of Ireland, they just buy it because the Irish are stupid.
Yeah, well,
here's the conspiratorial take on it. The Irish aren't stupid. In fact, they're very smart. But through a process of poisoning their water and their food supplies, they've been turned into stupid Dumby fucks.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
So
they were
the reason
they were the real Atlanteans, weren't they? That's right.
By Ray's on one tonight, he said, "Don't forget the English ruled the world while they were pumping so much toxic into the atmosphere. They were changing weather patterns."
True. Absolutely true. The real Jew is the Anglo. I've always said this.
Yeah, but it's okay when we do it.
Yeah,
perfidious
it's
Albion.
always okay when we do it. By Ray, just remember that you're from the same stock. when you're kicking the Anglo, just remember you're from the same stock.
You're shooting yourself in the foot. But this is the thing. I am willing to go as far as, but even if I find them annoying, that the Irish are a bit under attack, and they were Atlantis, so they were. They really were Atlantis. And it's a shame because, the Irish origins of civilization is true. And anyone that doubts it, well, they just happen to be part of the Anglo-Saxon.
we just found out that Byers Rama. He said I wasn't kicking the Anglo. Also, I'm not an Anglo. We've just found out.
Slavic. He's a fellow Slav brother.
I thought he was a.
But Byers Ray's going to go back to the. Byers Ray's going to go back to the dream time. He just needs to get some more petrol.
I think he is a Slav. I remember raging at him, and he said he was a Slav. Fellow Slav, I think.
So is this? So he's a fellow puddle toilet chuck.
Yeah, he's a fellow Aryan, like leaders of civilization.
Dom says, "Come on, Bayer. We all know you're an abo." Dom says, "Woke putting fluoride in our pronouns."
This is why we've got people with pronouns, because of the fluoride. I'm going to go as I think it's the fucking. I'm not even joking. I swear to God.
Well, how long have they been putting fluoride in the water?
For a very long time.
Pretty much since they've been refining aluminium. But anyway, moving on from that subject, because there's plenty of other stuff in the Fortean Words chat. There's an interesting monument in Greece which says thank you. It's all in Greek, by the way, but I think it says
it's all Greek
thank
to
you,
me.
Russia. Yeah, thank you, Russia, 1812. And it shows a very different map to what's known of the Russian borders of 1812. And they sort of show an old map of the time. This is an old Greek map, mind you, where they show Russia on one side, and it goes from, I'd say, as far west as what Poland is today, to as far east as the Ural Mountains, the Caucasus Mountains. But it doesn't go all the way to Vladivostok. It stops, just a bit beyond the Caspian Sea. And then
this is interesting. If we can go back to the fluoride. Right, so where is fluoride added to the water supply? In some areas, parts of Bedfordshire, North Nottinghamshire and Lincolnshire are required to raise fluoride levels, a process called fluoridation, to 1 milligram per litre. So why is fluoride sometimes added? Water companies are sometimes asked to add fluoride to improve dental health. The amount of fluoride allowed in drinking water is much lower than found in products such as toothpaste. Well, I should think so as well. Who pays to add the fluoride? Do we want to know that?
Us.
Public Health England and the local health authority pay for the fluoridisation and equipment. The cost is not part of your water bill.
What I find interesting with that as well is they say
who decides to add fluoride? The final decision sits with the local authorities and the Secretary of State for Health. Water companies, if approached, give technical advice, and if asked to do so, will implement a fluoridisation scheme in line with relevant act and regulate. Because I'm pretty sure this fluoride. I'm pretty sure this fluoride in the thing is an American thing.
Well, you say that, but I do remember last year, Rishi Sunak? It was one of those brown politicians saying that we're going to fluoridate all the water, and yes, there are objections, but we're going to ignore them.
Yeah, because this is from no, it's your mate Chris Whitty. That's who did it. So this is from 24th September 21. Fluoride to be added to UK drinking water to cut tooth decay.
So the thing is, every single time they use this ostensible excuse of, it's for your dental health, right? I mean,
see, I think this is another thing. It's like why is it we believe that stuff that's happening in America is happening over here?
Because we're told it. However, this excuse of it's for your dental health. Why does nobody talk about osteoporosis? Why does nobody show like, oh well, the more fluoride you've got in your body,
God, did you know
the more calcium you need to leach.
Did you know there's the British?
I'm not done making a point yet. I'm not done making this point. I'd rather talk about Tartaria and get through the other things. But whilst I'm on this point, the more fluoride you get, the more brittle your bones become. So why is no one talking about, well, we need to put more calcium in the water to counteract the fluoride we're putting in?
Hey, Phil, have a look at the link I've just put in the 14 words. Did you know there's a British fluoridisation
I do.
society?
Yes.
Well, read that then. That proves that there's a weird... I'll read the conclusion then, shut the fuck up. The conclusion, the results support the possibility of an adverse effect of high fluoride exposure on children's neurodevelopment.
Fluoride makes you retarded. Use iodine to buffer it.
Makes you fucking stupid. That's why we got retarded people. That's why I'm retarded today, because I've just had a glass of water as it goes. That's why I'm all mumbling like a retard. And coughing.
So going back to previous things in the Fortean Words, so, interesting thing that east of Russia there was Tartaria. Hemi posted in the chat, can a ghost and a zombie come from the same person? I'm so amused by the image of a ghost watching in horror as the zombified body shambles around. Zombie. Brains. Ghost. This is so embarrassing. Please, Phil, get it together. We were a lawyer, for God's sake.
Okay, that is pretty funny. That is pretty funny, that one. I thought that was worth it.
And then there was the thing here where Hobbit got told off by Hobbit for being a dickhead, spamming the same link but 3 weeks in a row. And that was covered last week about the 5-folded crystals, which are rarely seen in nature, but they were the trinitite from the atomic bomb blast produced the crystal with a pentagram.
Beautiful.
And then there's an image here of like a Nordic in the flying saucer. He says so that there's a black man saying, "But what do you want?" Hang on, but what do you want? Will you stop the bombs? Will you end the wars? The Nordic who, by the way, is very olive-skinned in this. Oh, my sweet silly George, in the not-too-distant future of yours, the youth of your species will develop a curiously powerful psycho-spiritual technology called memes, or memes. It is this technology...
Memes.
Memes. Memes. It is this technology and its ripples of influence backwards and forwards in time that attracted our attention, not the bomb. Curious technology indeed. Besides our crafts, we find memes to be the most efficient method of traversing the dimensions. Hopefully you've realized that by now. We are utilizing this technology as we speak. So I found that one was quite good. And it is another one which we didn't come into any of the Fortean Words things. This is breaking news from Australia. Well, breaking news from a few weeks ago. The Australian government has approved the license application for a big pharmaceutical company, Paxvax. I don't know what a Pax is, but anyway, the vaccines to be administered via chemtrails. So it's it will allow them to...
It sounds like schizophrenia, Hobbit.
It would. Wow, you say that, but didn't we cover it?
Are real. I'm going to
Didn't we do an episode about chemtrails when we talked about how they were releasing like diseases?
It's just steam, man. Come on.
No, hold on a minute. I'm going to push back. I'm going to push back. Like they are manipulating the weather, not via chemtrails, but what's it called now? There's that fucking weird shit.
Gold in the atmosphere.
Geoengineering.
Yeah, geoengineering. They fucking do that in the ocean. They do it in the ocean in no man's land, and they fucking do alter the weather.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember you talking about this. Yeah.
Because I thought this was... Because I know a schizophrenic, and he was saying all this shit to him, and I was like, "Oh, you're just being a truth angel, you mad bastard." He provided all the evidence like they're making fucking clouds in the ocean, making your weather shit on purpose because of Greta Thunberg and all that bollocks.
So, instead of recapping the episode about chemtrails, I just referred to the Clouds of Conspiracy episode. That was the title of it.
Yeah.
We chose that one because we thought, well, if we put chemtrails in it, you'll have to have one of those disclaimers like they put on fag packets these days.
Yeah, all the people who came for Alex Jones will come for you.
Yeah, exactly. So the Clouds Conspiracy episode talks about like the who, what, when, and where of it. But anyway, back to this article. It says... the Australian government's approved a license application for a big pharmaceutical company, Paxvax, that will allow them to intentionally release a genetically modified organism vaccine consisting of live bacteria into Queensland via chemtrail. The Office of Gene Technology Regulator, the OGTR, said that the vaccine qualifies as a limited and controlled release under Section 58 of the Gene Technology Act of 2000. Paxvax is seeking approval to conduct a clinical trial of a genetically modified live bacterial vaccine against COVID.
Paxvax Incorporated, based in Redwood City, California, was formerly a company focused on the development of specialty vaccines to protect against existing and emerging infectious diseases. In August 2018, Paxvax Inc. was acquired by Emergent Biosolutions Inc., headquartered in Gaithersburg, Maryland. With the acquisition of Paxvax, Emergent Biosolutions acquired Vivitoff oral vaccine for the prevention of typhoid fever, Vaxhora vaccine for the prevention of cholera, and several clinical stage vaccine candidates. So Paxvax has been swallowed up.
And scrolling up before that, somebody, who was their name, Wesley, he posted a thing in about a 4chan thing about people noticing that kidneys are now in a different place in the body, where they're saying they're just underneath the rib cage.
Hey,
whereas
we did that before in the Mandela, right?
Yeah,
Mandela
and
you
so
know
whereas
about
before,
this, Phil? Where your kidneys are, or is Phil gone?
What?
And that's
do you know where your
whereas
kidneys
kidneys
are, Phil?
before. Yeah,
This is the only time I've ever seen these two be squeamish and like not want to talk about a subject. Where are your kidneys, Phil?
I don't know, under the rib. I don't fucking know. Just under the rib cage, aren't they? I don't fucking know.
they're just above the hips, or at least they were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what
right.
They are, yeah.
No,
they're not
incorrect,
under the
Phil.
rib
They've
cage now.
moved. They're now in your rib
Where are they?
cage.
What? They're in your rib cage? That's
Yeah.
bollocks. They're literally not there. What the fuck are they on about?
You know,
this
this,
You look, Phil. You look at any medical textbook. Where are
Don't
my
look at any
kidneys?
medical
Just
textbook
Google it now. Anything. Where are my
Do you know what this
kidneys?
is like? Do you know what this is like? I remember before, during the COVID bullshit, I looked outside and I said, where the fuck is the moon gone? Like, there was no moon. And Andrea shit herself. She was just like, oh, well, fuck it. This is COVID. Of course they got rid of the moon. I go on Google and it says on Google, it says, sometimes the moon is not visible at all. And I was like, fuck off. It's always a little bit visible.
Wait,
What
I've
are you
only
on
just
about?
come to this realization that the moon disappears for like 3 days.
It's like, oh yeah, the moon's sometimes not visible. It's like, fuck off. It's always a little bit visible, you lying bastard.
Phil, Google now. I want to hear a live react of Google. Where are my kidneys?
So whilst Phil's looking up kidneys, let's just scroll up and see what else people have been saying.
Pampas grass.
Oh my god. The kidneys are just below the rib cage, you lying bastards. No, it's not. What are you on about? We're not human beings anymore. This is what fluoride's done to people. It's like They're wrong. What are they on about? It's not there. What are they on about? They're crazy. Oh, your ribcage? No, it isn't. Liars.
So somebody posted an article. I say somebody. It's always somebody in the
Roger
chat.
the Shrubber.
Roger the Shrubber posted a thing about pampas grass.
Yeah.
I guess I've been seeing pampas grass for a little while before I really noticed it, but once I noticed it, I started seeing it everywhere. It began a few weeks ago when I happened upon images of Mandy Moore's wedding on my Instagram Explore page. There she was in a backyard framed by feathery pink and white explosions like mini trifula trees, whatever. So yeah, it's a bunch of pampas grass. Then I saw a woman walking around Broadway with an armful of wispy stalks. She was the kind of woman been laid down with these are just flower names and stuff. And there's already the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon enough. A situation one keeps seeing the same seemingly random thing over and over again, aka a frequency illusion, to the point where I wrote down in a notebook, pampas grass now everywhere, but why? Then finally I saw an article in The Cut titled, Pampas grass is the new monstera leaf. What the fuck is this stuff? And I knew that.
Yeah, this is stuff that only woke wankers would know, isn't it?
I think only florists would know what half of the stuff is.
No. proper hipster shit libs, I think.
As the writer Margaret Rose discussed in The Cut, one reason could be rooted in environmental causes. She writes, the ubiquity of the poofy grass might speak to another shift, the increasingly urgent desire to use less and reuse what we have. Pampas grasses are environmentally sound in that they don't require floral foam, and then, too, they're consumer-friendly because you can buy a bundle and it will last forever. No need to replace them as you would fresh flowers.
I think I remember that when I was a kid, people having pampas grass in vases.
Oh, here's an interesting one. I just looked at the body changes of the Mandela stuff, right? And here's one that's interesting. I never noticed this one before. You now take your pulse on the side of your wrist, almost under your thumb, rather than the center of your wrist. The arteries carrying the blood to your hands are nestled against and slightly under the bone, making it more difficult to commit suicide by cutting your wrists.
The body's adapted to people topping themselves.
Yeah, maybe.
The funny thing is, though, I mean, like, I've 10 years ago.
Hold on, just before we move on, Hobbit. Like, I was listening to a podcast today about what is it? About Alcatraz. One of the prisoners there committed suicide by bending a fork, like a prong on a fork. He dug into his wrist, pulled the vein out, and then bit it open.
Oh, savage.
Okay. There are easier ways of dying, but fair enough. So yeah, no, I did medical science, and I know how to take a pulse. You hold your thumb against like the center of the wrist, but the thing is, I always remember like I could just about feel people's pulses in their wrist, but it's much easier to feel someone's pulse by putting your fingers on their neck.
Yeah, the calf.
Because there you got the and it's much easier to feel that pulsing. So, like, I did it with my late grandfather as well. I put my fingers on his neck and I couldn't feel a pulse, but I was told by the nurses he died 15 minutes prior to me arriving. So, yeah.
Hobbit, that's your thyroid. Is he on the wind-up now, by Ray? You know, he's on one tonight, isn't he?
I know where the thyroid is, and anyway, when you've got a pulse, you can feel it in the neck. So what's this? How far
did you get?
I can't be. This article is like a fucking essay, mate. It's not worth reading. It's just like some woman just saying, "Oh,
basically, she went on Google, and according to an article in Southern Living titled "Pampas Grasses for Swingers." Then found out about pampas grass. Has anyone got pampas grass in their garden and had anyone knocking on their door asking to swing? That is quite funny. Don't know, but yeah, hipsters are buying pampas grass. Well, they were whenever this was written. Oh, 2018. So, 2018. They're buying a different plant now.
So, Hobbit posted a thing about CERN and the Mandela Effect hijacking, but it's a really crap video that's 3 hours long. It's some like retarded American boomer. I wouldn't recommend it, so just ignore that. Roger the Shrubber says, "Are you putting the shows in podcasts anymore?" And I think the answer is no.
Yes, I will get on with it. Yeah.
And there's a voice clip. There's a voice clip where Hobbit talking about demons.
There's the stuff from last week about the atomic bomb testing.
Yeah.
That's July 4th. Fucking hell. That's nearly 4 weeks ago, Hobbit.
Yeah. And then, going back further, that was Hemming saying, "Rest in peace, the Georgia Guidestones," but not for long, because the CEO of Pfizer says he's going to refinance their reconstruction because, you know, a guy that makes panda pops that makes people infertile would want to bring back a Guidestones that says make the population 500 million.
Where's the Guidestones? Have you gone way up? Oh yeah, R.I.P. So Georgia Guidestones. What's next up? There's Hobbit stuff about that we covered last. Well, is it last week we did bomb testing?
Yeah,
that's right with the crystal. What's this when the world ends thing? It's a little short video.
Don't know.
It's a 10-second long clip.
I'll play it now.
Alexa, when will the world end?
So, according to Alexa, Earth will be hit by an asteroid in 2042, and then
Yeah.
So that's funny. Oh, breaking. Pitbulls rejoice as Supreme Court ruling leads to a dramatic uptick in food supply. Because remember there was that thing about banning abortion. Isn't it interesting? Like abortion's going to be banned right about the same time that people might be a bit infertile, a little bit.
Yeah. You know what kids would like if we replaced all fun, colourful alien side characters with frumpy black lesbians.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I don't know whether anyone used to watch the original Buzz Lightyear cartoon, but I think it's the.
Is that My Little Pony?
No, that's Buzz Lightyear.
That's Rainbow Dash from My Little Pony, and that's Earthworm Jim. And I don't know who the fat one is at the bottom.
I thought you were going to say Earthworm Jim, but he put on a bit of weight.
Well, no, the one on the left
that make you go, hold on, let me just...
what, a glass of water just resting on the table in the International Space Station.
Yeah, hold on, give me a sec, I'll put this one up.
First lesson from space held for Chinese students in 2013. Oh, yes, that's, we'll just, it's not zero gravity, you see, it microgravity. That why my glass of water rests on table. It's fine.
There you go. That's it. First lesson from space. The first lesson from space is don't leave your jar of water on the side when you're faking space pictures.
What happened to the phone-in? I was expecting a James Whale type program. Well, this is the thing.
Anyone can come on. Anyone can come on.
To the 16 people watching now, we have a Telegram channel. I'm just going to copy the link and post it in the chat. So there you go. You can join us there. And if you want to say hello, you just join in, say hi. So there's Fraser posted a thing called "Can Planes Hover in Mid-Air?"
Ian, I DM'd you.
That was freaky. That was a bit weird, man. That was
What was?
How long is that? How long is that video?
I think it's like a few minutes at least, but like just watch a few of them. It's like fucking bizarre, man. Like I don't know if it is. It doesn't look like CGI. Like the thing is,
I know what you mean. There's CGI, been times that I've been in hotels near Heathrow, and it looks very strange the way the planes are just hovering in the air.
Yeah.
You expect them to be.
That's it, basically. Yeah, they're just sitting there like.
There's times when I look at the planes and I thought, surely they're going too slow. They're going to start stalling and fall out, but no, it's not. So it's just a 20-minute long compilation of aircraft as seen from the road, because that's when people seem to take pictures of it. And you just look at it, it's like, how could something so large just be like going so slowly? Because it is very strange. And
well, according to like the aerodynamics, you would fall, right? Because the plane is heavier than the air around it if it's not.
Well, that's how they quote unquote do anti-grav training, isn't it? They fly up in a jet and turn the engine off or something.
Oh, that's the Vomit Comet, where it does a parabolic arc. So because you're in free fall, that's how it's like 0G.
Yeah.
So what else? Oh, that's it. Yeah, and then scrolling further up, there was the Count Dankula link saying another Clinton aide found unalived.
Where's that? Have you gone way up from the hard?
I'm in June the 18th.
I thought you were going to mention. The fact that I found an old screenshot of me being blocked by Brian Cox.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, Hemi was blocked by Brian Cox. Was asking why is science so amazing? I just don't understand.
I think it was over Brexit or something, because he was incredibly upset about being wrong about Brexit, wasn't he?
No, you don't understand, because Brian Cox is really intelligent. He's got a degree in astrophysics.
He played keyboard for Shit Group and everything.
Ream. And Tony Blair's favourite musician is Det Ream.
Det Ream.
So, isn't Det Ream amazing? Like,
You know, they do music about things can only get better, and they only
No,
got
what's
worse.
this? What the fuck is that video then?
What, the planes floating in midair?
I'm just looking at it. Where they zoom in on something.
Just go and look at the Fortean Words to
They're
see
zooming
what
right
you're
in on
looking at.
something.
He played for Dick Ream. Things can only get better. Hemi was blocked by Brian's cock.
Yeah.
Oh, and you missed my undeniable proof of the third twin tower, but...
You could say he was cock-blocked.
What the fuck is that? That is correct. What the fuck is that? I'm just having a look at that video. That's weird.
What, the planes?
No, with
Oh.
The one that Hobbit put in on June 14th.
June 14th? Jesus Christ. Okay, that's good.
So that's June the 18th, June 17th. Oh, yeah, June the 14th.
Yeah. I like this one. Worst AI ever loves to make unspeakably horrible racist posts and troll online. An AI model trained on 3.3 million threads from the website 4chan apparently became a huge online troll, making more than 15,000 racist, offensive and cruel posts in less than 24 hours.
Yes, that was when the poster from the Seychelles was making at least 10% of all threads and replies on 4chan's poll forum. That was an interesting thing. Yeah, there's this weird video of like some US politicians. Well, one of them's Nancy Pelosi, also known as Jerry Nadler's crop dusting enthusiast. Yeah. And behind her is like it literally just looks like one of those aliens from They Live, just in the background, staring unblinkingly at the camera.
Wait, is this? Oh, I've got to see this now. Like, where is this? June fucking.
So this is like, oh god, it's just the aliens had a glitch.
Do you want me to go through this? Former Disney employees spill their beans, and there's more to it than we think.
Oh, whilst you're saying that, I'm just going to look at the guy like zooming into a bit of Australia.
There's like a that's weird. So there is a Disney jail for wild guests. With so many visitors to the theme park, there are bound to be at least a few troublemakers who make it in. 50,000 people pay to play each day. At that scale, even 1% means 500 crazy guests. For these folks, Disney has a jail on site to prevent chaos. There is a holding area for thieves, lunatics, and Mary Jane smokers. This isn't just a myth, as funny as it may sound.
And there's the underground tunnels where the thousands of children go missing a year in Disneyland and
I thought
never to be seen again.
Please resist the temptation to spread human ashes. It might sound perverse, but folks keep trying to release urns of their dead at the park. Why is Disney World a popular destination for ashes? Maybe it was a child's favourite place, and it seemed. Well, you just do the Great Escape bit, don't you, with your trouser leg?
That's it. I need to watch that film again to remind myself the difference between that and the Horse Box, because they are two different films. They're both about escaping from German POW camps, but one of them does it where they have a horse box and then they have like some diggers underneath, and the other one is I don't know, I can't remember the Great Escape, but it seems like they're playing Monopoly and there's real money hidden amongst the playing pieces because it was dropped in. Right. Yeah, I think that was one of the things like that actually really happened, but then they did a movie about it where they send these care packages to the British POWs.
Do you know Disney? Do you know Disney World owns cats? They have their own cats, and they release them through the park to eat rats.
That's very interesting. But I'll just finish my point. The care packages would contain things like Monopoly, which would have real money in it, as well as passports somehow be hidden into the board. So yes, cats in Disney released there to keep control of the rat population. It's probably a good idea, seeing as like a lot of people would just be like chucking food around willy-nilly.
You probably never thought about the sheer size and scope of Lost and Found at a place like Disney World, but imagine it now. It's got to be significant. As you might assume, sunglasses are a common item that visitors keep losing. On a daily basis, more than 200 pairs are left behind at the park. It's a diverse collection of shades, but is that 200 pairs of sunglasses a day? What do they do with them? Do they bin them or do they?
I'd auction them.
Yeah. Staff members have actually revealed some shockers. Once they came across a glass eye, another time they discovered a prosthetic leg. It's hard to understand why these items are even being removed in the middle of a trip, but after enough time passes, finders keepers.
I used to work in a charity that was collecting glasses for. It was sending them off to poor people in Africa, and I was inspecting them and categorizing them on their diopter and whatever other measurements there were. I can't remember much about the machine I was using, but then it'd all be passed to this old bloke, and if he'd seen any cosmetic defects on it, he'd fail them. And I was like, mate, they're not going to be sold in whatever Specsavers in Mogadishu is. They're literally giving them out for free. Do you think someone who's half blind and can't read is really going to care that, somebody's chewed the end of this glasses frame? Or do you think they'll be like, oh, wow, I can see again. This is really good. I can actually carry on with sewing and make a
they're probably just
couple
going
of
to pop
cents
them
on
out
the
and work out someone's prescription anyway, aren't they?
So what really pissed me off about that is the fact that because his rejection rate was so high, 95%, the charity just shut up shop and we didn't get any more. So we lost that contract. Thanks to that fuckface. And every time I try and talk to the supervisor and say, look, he's failing perfectly good glasses, ones which are in better quality than the glasses I wear.
Oh, how about this bit?
I got really pissed off with that.
I finally got to an interesting bit. Underground tunnels let workers zoom around quick. It's a giant magical wonderland. How do workers get from place to place in a flash? With the massive crowds on a day-to-day basis, you'd think they might need hovercrafts. But no one has seen that happen yet. However, ever wonder what's underneath the park? Because it turns out there's a super secret tunnel system. Employees refer to the network as an underground city. Sounds fascinating, though we probably never will get a peek.
No, because that's where all the children they traffic go missing in.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a good image. What I'm gonna do is reply, and I'm just gonna at Hemi so you can see what the one I'm looking at is. It's one of those, old Soviet photoshops. So the first one is a bunch of people surrounding Stalin, and it says, "Makes you immune." The government says so. It's safe, keeps you out of hospital. Then the next image says, the government says so, it's safe, keeps you out of hospital. Then the next image says, government says so, it's safe. And the final image just says, government says so. So that's something which can be there. And before that, there was a large root system. This actually coincided with Fraser's episode about the giant trees.
Yeah, well,
a large
giant trees and giant geology.
Yeah,
biogeology.
A large root system has been discovered under the Devil's Tower in Wyoming. A huge and startling discovery was made at Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Scientists from the Wyoming State Parks Department were conducting photographic seismic readings under the tower when they discovered an incredibly large fossilized root system under the tower. Well, whoever wrote this article...
That settles it then, right? That settles it then. It's a tree.
Whoever wrote this article has a serious problem with alliteration.
Wow.
So anyway, carrying on with just reading out this
it's
shit.
An American. Forgive me.
Yeah, they are retarded with all the fluorides they have. So we discovered what looks like a giant root system flowing from the base of the Devil's Tower. The root system has been measured to a depth of 6.5 kilometers and a width of about 13 kilometers. We are currently conducting research and tests to confirm that it is indeed a root system and not a coincidence. The discovery is on verge of rewriting history and science as we know it.
It's just a coincidence. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So then we have the Hadron Collider started again.
And that's why our kidneys are now in the rib cage and not over the hips. And this is a thing, actually, because I remember when playing Sniper Elite 4, and you got to do these various achievements in order to get.
And you were trying to kill him in the kidneys, and
I bet you didn't get the achievement, did you, Robert?
Well, no, that's the thing, because and then I accidentally shot someone in what I thought was the lungs. It's like, no, you got a kidney shot. It's like, since when were the kidneys directly underneath the lungs?
Dom said he knows about the tunnels. He's played the Fallout 4 Nuka World DLC.
Oh, Fallout 4 was really boring. Somebody has done a very autistic analysis of Quentin Tarantino's facial features. So they got a picture of Quentin Tarantino holding an Oscar statue, which is 13.5 inches tall.
This is quite an old one, isn't it? This came out 8 years ago, didn't it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know about that. But anyway, so they done that, and they said, okay, using the Oscar as a reference, we can tell that the distance from his eye to his chin is 4.875 inches. Here's a picture of him licking a woman's foot.
Well,
and then
a person's foot.
Yeah. And so in the photograph, it's showing that the calf bone, the shin, is 10 inches long, because his face is 4.875 inches long, that bit from eye to the chin. And then it says here, the formula used in forensics to determine the height is 4.77 times the tibia length for males, 4.88 times the tibia length for females. If that is a female leg and foot, that means the unknown person in the photo is approximately 48.8 inches tall, or slightly over 4 foot tall. According to the CDC, the average growth charts, the unknown person likely is between 6 and 8 years old. So,
could just be like a Filipino, or it could be a 16 to 18-year-old Filipino, though, couldn't it? Because that's very brown, that leg, isn't it? No, Hobbit.
It's Sniper Elite 2 versus Sniper Elite 4. I played Sniper Elite 4 because it's in Italy, and I might play the one set in France.
I'll play the zombie version.
It's still like 60 quid, so I'm not buying it. Oh, and then there was that thing. Yeah, that was it. The Clouds Conspiracy episode. Spanish meteorological evidence.
The reason. Did you see who did that tweet?
What tweet?
The next one up, the Clouds Conspiracy one. Look.
Rob Schneider.
That's why I reposted it, Hobbit. I know you tagged me on another one.
Yeah. Rob Schneider notices something happened, and now he's going to get to the bottom of it. Rated PG-13.
So he retweeted something that we both saw on Twitter. The Spanish Meteorological Agency has confessed that Spain is being spayed.
Don't sprain your tibia in Spain.
Sprain is being
spayed. Tarantino might kiss it
with lead oxide, silver iodide, and diatomite.
Lead. And then that was it. I was looking at what diatomite is. It's diatoms are a type of plankton. So there you have it.
Also known
Hillary Clinton's friends committing
suicide.
No, been unalived, and it's a coincidence. Oh yeah.
Hey, look, Hobbit! Don't you fucking lie to me. Oh, you've got at least 24 friends that have died in light airplane crashes.
It's a very especially light aircraft.
Yeah.
Flying in the light aircraft, and
that's
why I don't have any
you're walking around, you're doing the pre-flight, there's oil pissing out of it onto the floor. You go, oh, this is fine, I'm going to go up in this.
Someone's put diesel in the avgas tank.
Yeah, this is fine.
Oh, this was another thing, like a screenshot here. It says the problematic 15-year-old biohacker who stopped airborne rabies.
What the fuck is a biohacker?
Someone that uses a computer with CRISPR to edit genes.
Okay.
The article continues. Something tells me between this, the first TikTok
Byray
says
the YOLO meme was invented by friends of the Clintons.
Something tells me between this, the first TikTok president article, and the Google Nest shower cam, that this whole image might in fact be some kind of fabrication. Not sure, though. Reddit is certainly a terrible place filled with terrible people and terrible bots. I'll wait for Snopes to tell me what to think. If they debunk it, the shit's legit. Oh, that's it. So the rest of the article doesn't matter. It's just the fact that, this thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I posted an article to a really good song, which I think we should use as an outro.
Yeah.
Is there a way I could make this song play in the chat so people can hear it on the thing?
I'll play it at the end. Remind me and I'll play at the end.
Oh yeah, grooving with keyboard, spooky. It's not me. It's somebody else's thing.
I'll copy that link.
Yeah.
I'll stick it in the Discord, and then I'll know where to find it.
There's a Venn diagram, and the 3 circles that overlap say spiritual discernment, gut instinct, and anecdotal experience. So if you get the overlap between spiritual discernment and anecdotal, you get divine guidance. The overlap between gut, feeling, and anecdote is common sense. And the overlap between spiritual discernment and gut instinct is ancestral blood memory. So the Venn diagram where all 3 of these overlap is source, I made it up. Exile Barry asks, what does it's bullshit, but I believe it fit in?
Yeah.
And I said, well, if you believe it, how can it be bullshit? So he says, gut instinct then. Thanks for the Socratic input.
Bit of photovoltaics. We've already covered those.
Just use your discernment. Anything I disagree with is bullshit. Like shark sleep science, it's bullshit. But at least that's tangible, however tenuous, unlike, aren't tachyons amazing? They're totally real, like dark matter.
Fucking dark matter.
That was a shit article, that was.
Dark matter.
Is that Exile Bear posted? No, that's somebody. It's not Exile Bear. Who is it? It just says, Just Lurking posted Swindler's Grift final track from a new album. So that's some music.
Yeah.
Photovoltaics. Oh yeah, panels made from quartz and hydrofluoric acid.
Yeah, did you know so the next one is electricity derived from air drives car. Tesla offered this to Ford, but apparently Ford said, nah, fuck that, I can make all this extra money from parts and stuff.
Yeah, he also says, well, I'm getting like subsidies from Standard Oil to use their stuff. And Tesla was just like, yeah, but you could just make a car that doesn't need fuel. Just use electricity from the air, bruv.
Oh, yeah, this was a good one, Hobbit, that you put in. In India, an entire temple was dug up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Just more of these cultural layers. And, yeah, well, we bury all these cities around the world in the 1850s to regrade them because you know, in the 1850s in India, there was a lot of cars around, weren't there?
Yeah. Well, they had to sort out the gradient, didn't they? Did he ever get back to you?
No, he didn't for some reason. It's a shame.
Yeah.
I would have liked his input on that. And here we go. This is from C. He says, the real conspiracy you guys should be covering is why you haven't been updating the RSS feed.
Yeah, is this all aimed at me?
Well, it just seems to be a conspiracy against you.
Yeah, I think it is.
Chris Mitchell posted some spam which shouldn't be there about some live reaction. Mark Collett's advice to Nick Fuentes. I mean, what's spooky about that? Actually, no, wait. Nick Fuente glows in the dark, so that is spooky, as does Mark Collett.
I think isn't the real spooky part there that isn't up anymore. Isn't that the one where Chris had a tantrum? Bob Lazar running his car on hydrogen is interesting. You can find it on YouTube.
And by the way, if anybody's interested, this is all the highlights from our chat, right? This is a great little thing. You can join it. Anything you think's interesting, anything you think should be on the show, just post it up there, and we'll talk about it.
Or if you want to come on, if you want to come on the show, if you have a show, if you have an episode, you just want to do one and then bugger off again. It doesn't really matter. If you want to join it, you can.
So there's
it's how Ian got here, isn't it? And now he's stabbing us in the back, going on to more important channels.
So in other words, Fortean Words is a springboard to greater things.
Yeah.
If you get your start on the show, just remember us when you're on that one with the Greek who says it was aliens.
Yeah.
You know, the one with the...
What?
Yeah, you know, Milo Yiannopoulos with the big hair, and he says, Ancient Aliens, that's the show.
That dude. Wait, Ian's on Ancient Aliens?
Well,
No, he's not. He's going to
gonna.
be on something. I can't remember what it's called. 14 something or other, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Because he's talking about cryptozoology, so he's not talking about aliens.
Well, this is a good one. I do like this one, Hobbit. How the USSR moved houses with their occupants.
Well, before you get to that one, there is an article here about the ISS and saying, this is from the Express News, UFO sighting, NASA ISS live stream anomaly, aliens video, Scott warning. And then there's this picture, so there's a picture of it in the thing. This pic I put might be an actual nuclear rocket propulsion secret spaceship now in orbit. It has some kind of active camouflage in the hull, so it can go black. It, in essence, is a pigment dots or like an LCD screen. It can mimic the stars behind it. It's from the ISS
Yeah,
live
but how
stream.
does it know where you're standing?
It suddenly appeared next to the ISS.
Why do stars suddenly appear? Every
this
time
fucking
it disappears.
Yeah, that's it. So there's the image, and it's this sort of crystally looking thing, and it's not the first time this object has been seen.
It looks like Babylon 5, to be honest, right?
What, an O'Neill cylinder?
Space station. Yeah, it looks like the Babylon 5 space station. You don't think?
Yeah, it could well be. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I'm looking at, what is it? The USSS Helen.
USSSS Hillencoter. Is that the German? Is that the German that invented it? Is it?
Oh, I don't know. Some foreign name, innit?
Was it look like? Yeah. Was it look like some sort of weird fucking double-ended dildo with golf balls stuck in it?
Because you're a sex pest, that's why.
Just like, why has it got golf balls jammed in the end?
Wait, are they trying to claim this is real now? Is this where?
Yeah.
What? Jesus.
I'll put it up.
Oh, that's right. How the USSR moved houses with their occupants. Well, you've forgotten the important thing about how it's not a flat Earth. It's in fact a dome Earth on the bottom of the ocean. The ocean's all around us, and you got to dig the resources, and those that need the resources are up there.
What do you mean dig the? What do you mean dig the resources? The buildings are already down there. Is that what you mean by resources?
Well, so there's a 4chan post with this diagram, and it says the dome was raised about 1,500 years ago. Then the water is sucked out from under it, exposing the landmass, leaving enough water to create a livable biosphere. The land is terraformed. Oil,
a bit
coal,
like that thing where you put a beer mat under a pint glass.
Yeah. So the oil coal is chemically created underground, possibly exists there in a natural form, but doubtful since it looks like a synthetically created substance to begin with. Flora is introduced, then fauna. Humans introduced in containers, then bred in camps to form future races, ethnicities, nations, given fake histories of a supposedly ancient world, etc. Political system introduces priest classes formed to rule and control the population. Expansion of population to every place where the resources are to be mined. Building of infrastructure begins. Transport communication systems are created. Ideologies of control introduced in form of religions and others, mainly what they call today communist doctrines, leftivism, etc. When industrial age comes about, with all the technologies red, the mining starts. With all the technologies red? Well, whatever. Resources leave the dome through tunnels. As the system advances, the mining...
What number's that you're...
I'm on point number 13. Right. As the system advances, the mining intensifies. Population reduced, more machines and automation is introduced. Flora, fauna becomes irrelevant and gets removed to free up maximum area for mining. Population is placed in dome cities, possibly underground. Operation continues in this manner until all the resources are depleted from Earth. 3,000 years later, after this dome was installed, the operation is complete and the dome is removed. I'm just giving you a short overview, how it all started and how it will end. Really, I don't feel like giving you links or whatever the fuck else you need. If you want to research it, you can. All info is open source. How much resources are being mined, and how much is being spent is all available info. The facts are, of all the mined resources, only a small fraction is being used. Of course, some resources are used more than others. Certain resources are of no interest to the creators of our mine world. So that's it. It's not a flat world. It's an ocean world, and we're just the mining colony underneath it, extracting the resources for our overlords.
Right, so what are the stars then?
Well, that's up in the firmament. That's just lights up there.
Yeah. We going up to the lemon in Pompeii?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yes.
So this is mosaics from the 1st century AD, Anno Domini, year of our Lord, or for those modern people, the Christian era. And it says, on this photo, Pompeian mosaic in the Plaza Massimo, located in the National Museum of Rome. Note, there is a lemon in the fruit vase. But wouldn't that be a fruit
What's the thing that looks
bowl?
like a brain?
That's an artichoke.
You have a lemon and an artichoke in the same bowl. What the fuck are they doing?
Actually, no. Is that an artichoke, or is that like what's that fruit that's knobbly?
Star fruit?
Well, it's pomegranate.
Prickly pear.
It's a pomegranate.
Yeah, I don't know what that fruit is.
But...
It's
not pineapple. No, it's not.
No.
There is one with a pineapple, though, isn't there? As well, there's another. Pineapple. Yeah.
What, that one at the top looks like it's been redacted. I don't know what that was.
So no, there is a lemon fruit in the fruit bowl. It says it's a vase. So the official
and there's a
date,
chicken having a chat to 2 pigeons.
Yeah, as you do.
He's going, all right, mate. How's the weather? The other 2 are going, yeah, not bad, mate.
So Pompeii, which was destroyed in the 1st century, and the lemon came to Europe in the 12th century. So what's going on there with the history?
And the brain fruit was somewhere.
Yeah, we don't talk about the great. It's just like a pineapple in the Greek.
Did we not do something on Pompeii about it being still around in the 1400s? No, it was destroyed in the 1400s. Are we not done? Are we not? Oh, okay.
I don't think we've done Pompeii.
Are we not?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting one. The Williamson tunnels in Liverpool. The Williamson tunnels are a vast network of underground structures of unknown purpose. According to Wikipedia, they're believed to have been created for no apparent reason by a tobacco merchant.
They just chucked them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, well, I've got all this money, so I might as well pay people to dig and make these arches and stuff.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like folly towers. Landowner and philanthropist Joseph Williamson began between 1810 and 1840. He bought the land and hired former Napoleonic soldiers for secret work. But they were only excavating something that already existed. Although they are called tunnels, they are brick or stone vaulted galleries with holes. Backfilled in the late 19th century with trash, also known as rubbish, it was used as a city dump. The dungeons remained inaccessible until 1995 when archaeological research began.
Well, this is something I find kind of weird, is the fact that they started digging this stuff up probably since like the late 70s.
Weird.
Oh, and this was another thing as well. This was unrelated
it's like time
to Fortean.
Why is it always a structure in the middle of an open field? Like miles away from anywhere, it's a structure that's been knocked down and covered over.
Funny that, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
So this is a bit because like a lot of people have been noticing changes in our geography.
Yeah.
Now, one which I paid attention to because as a kid, I had relatives living in both New Zealand and Tasmania.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, it doesn't take too long to get from New Zealand to Australia, and then just a short ferry journey across to Tasmania. Now, I was watching this video. It's about a guy that collects old computers, and he has a globe in the head above him,
and this globe has a picture of Australia. It's in purple, and I think a tiny sort of like pale blue blob, like way out far east, is supposed to be New Zealand. And I do not remember New Zealand being that far away from Australia. It was, I mean, it was pretty close. You know, you had Australia, the Great Barrier Reef, then New Zealand.
Is Australia just trying to get away from Jacinda Ardern?
Maybe that's what's going on. You know, maybe that's I think.
I don't think there's anything great. I think the next one to go to is in Greece. One of the tourists saw an unusual map, which is very different from the usual outline.
Oh, we did that one at the beginning of the show as well. That's when Phil was on as well. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, then.
So I repost things without realizing I've reposted them.
Oh, right. Okay, then. What else we got here? This is 200 years ago, Russia had a subtropical climate. But Russia has all kinds of climates, though, doesn't it? Because it's basically...
Oh, yeah, but imagine, like, Siberia. Imagine Siberia having a subtropical climate.
Yeah.
So it was a lot sunnier than what it used to be.
Well, it's because they drove cars and they used plastic straws.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Period, right?
There we go. Sorted conspiracy theorist.
Can I just say I really fucking hate paper straws? I mean, I'm not a person to use straws myself, but I really hate them. And whoever's doing them,
did you know
stop.
Plastic straws are recyclable and paper straws aren't?
Oh, my favourite thing is on juice boxes. You know, in juice boxes, you've always had like the plastic straw wrapped up in plastic. Well, now it's a paper straw wrapped up in plastic.
Oh, nice.
Just it's a pointless virtue signal. And the other thing as well is it's shit. Like, you can argue saying, yeah, we should get rid of plastic bottles and have glass ones instead. I'd be for that. But a plastic straw...
We need to go back to Corona Pop Bank Gang, where you go and get your 10p back when you take your bottles back.
But a plastic straw, you can't... There is no other way of making, like, a straw which is as good. I mean, unless we start growing, like, hay straws, but then, like, I don't know, or bamboo? No, because that's going to be shit. Look, there's no substitute for a plastic straw.
Hemp straws?
No, because that's paper as well. That's shit.
Yeah.
You're going to need plastic, or in a pinch, you can make it from horn, but good luck trying to mass produce that. Oh, that's it. So, what's his name? Fraser posted a video saying, "Vanishing, looking into the unexpected."
Oh, is this different?
Well, the Vanishing says, looking at the unexpected, buried blocks of Melbourne and the missing people, and it's to do with the street raising levels talk about on last night's episode. So.
We did in that episode, didn't we, with the streets being, you know, the real conspiracy is they raise the street level all around the world at the same time. That's the real conspiracy.
Well, Hobbit knows why that is. You fucking conspiracy theorists.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
we already debunked this. Because look, in 1850 there was free. In fact, let me have a look. When was the first automobile on the road? Because Roger Trevevic had a steam-powered one. When did the first automobile drive? I could rephrase that a bit there.
Because I'm sure they were like bespoke things before, weren't they? Because I assume because they weren't.
In England, drivers are required to be registered in 1903. Yeah, but that doesn't say when the first
1880s, isn't it? Hobbit first cars.
Carl Benz drives the first automobile. On July the 3rd of July, 1886. So Carl Benz has his internal combustion engine, horseless carriage. But Roger Trevevic, he did do a trial in London. So yeah, in 1850...
I'd say they were probably around 10 to 20 years before that, because when Benz is making them, that's when they start becoming popular, I'd assume, isn't it?
So, in the 3rd of July, 1886, mechanical engineer Carl Benz drove the first automobile in Mannheim, Germany, reaching a top speed of 10 miles an hour. The horseless carriage, water core internal combustion
Well, you don't want to go
engine.
30 or your brain will liquefy, won't it?
The vehicle incorporated elements that would characterize the modern vehicle. Often the case, Benz was not the only person working on such a design, but he patented his work first. As such, he patented all the processes that made the internal combustion engine feasible for use in an automobile. In 1879, he was granted his first engine patent, and in 1886, he received a patent for his first automobile. Benz work would eventually become the foundation of Mercedes-Benz, a well-known luxury car brand still today. So the first automobile, 1886. So in 1850, there were precisely 0 automobiles in the world. That's why all the regrading work had to be done, because they were like, well, look, there's this thing that's going to exist 40 years from now, so we better get the work done now whilst we can.
Yeah.
Because that's logical, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Mr. Skeptoid magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Because those horses, they were just fucking bombing up and down those hills, weren't they? The horses were.
Yeah. So just yeah. A video with like someone's neck's disappearing on a news report. Yeah, those.
Yeah, we need
to
do that. We'll do like a mega heavy video show. That? It's the May 3rd. I put in there what's happening to her neck. I was having a look at some camouflage glitches.
Really? I've never seen that, actually. I never thought that. Like, that's what I look then.
That's a bit like the They Live when the disguise stops working.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, neck's pulsing. And it's got these weird... It looks like she's got a neck tattoo. No, a tattoo on the throat. What does it say? Can I make it out?
Oh, God. Yeah, it does look like a tattoo, doesn't it?
So, for those on the radio, we're looking at a picture of Kamala Harris and
gills.
She's got.
Are they gills? They look like fucking gills.
That's what I was going to say. They look like gills, don't they? Maybe that fish creature in the UN isn't the only one.
Yeah, the fish demon.
Oh yeah. Which we just ignore the fish demon representing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the fish demon has every right to be there. I thought this would follow in with your statue thing, Fraser. Like, how the fuck do they get those eyes in there?
Well, Matt, this is the this is the thing, isn't it? Like, some of these statues are like impossible with the technology of the time, right? Chisel.
So what you're saying is, in fact, they weren't like carved out of stone.
Some of them,
in fact,
to be fair, some of them look painted. They actually look painted on when you look at them properly.
Yeah.
So what if it's in fact like a Medusa, like turning people into stone, and that's why we have these statues?
Ooh.
There is a theory about that, yeah.
Oh,
that was theory to do with the biogeology thing as well. It's yeah.
That's what I remember. That's it. So there was this interesting discussion on polls saying, does the US military really have a protocol for dealing with cryptids? The answer is yes, they do. And then I copy and pasted one of the responses from it saying, there's also some weird shit going on with caves, especially recently. The government has begun sealing off virtually every cave entrance in the United States, going so far as to weld steel bars over it and threatening you with prosecution for attempting to get inside. Call me cynical, but I don't think the Agent Orange MK Ultra guys, the Agent Orange MK Ultra guys care that much about us not getting stuck in a cave and dying on accident to arbitrarily do all of this. So why is the US government spending all this effort sealing up cave systems? That's thing. And what's this Chicago cover-up in 1890s newspaper article?
Okay, yeah. What was that about?
Chicago.
Literally they're saying Chicago.
Oh yeah, the old maps was already there on the old maps of America, basically before it was founded. Basically, it's one of the things about like how certain places were already there, kind of thing.
And the two-headed Patagonian giant.
Oh, there's no such thing as giants. We know that because the Smithsonian makes sure that any giants discovered or smash up the bones.
Yeah.
Over 12 feet tall with 2 heads. Nice.
The cultural layer. That's interesting. So is that near the mitre? That culture. That.
Oh, right. So what you're looking at there is Queen Street in Oxford.
Yep.
And so that's Bodleian Library in the distance. So the mitre would be on the High Street, which is so to get from the High Street to Queen Street, you'd go up it towards Carfax Tower, then you go Cornmarket Street. Then when you get to the end of Cornmarket Street, you've got the church and St. Martin's Memorial. And then you just take a right and then you're on Queen Street. Yeah. I'm very disappointed to see that Boswell's, the unique department store of Oxford, is now being converted into something called the Department, which is a hotel. Oh. So that's a bit gay. But after that thing, we had a thing here saying, no, this is more shark science, right? So we know the very important field of shark science research, yeah? Australian scientists have used music to attract great white sharks, and have found they are particularly drawn to AC/DC's Back in Black.
Back in Black. I hit the sack.
Yeah. It's like catnip. That's how they capture them, so they can stick fucking electrodes up their arse to test if they sleep.
Dom says there was a tunnel near me which was sealed off with steel bars, supposedly to protect the rare bats that live in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's more from the Patagonian giant.
Yeah.
Well, it's not more, but that was the original one, and then Fraser found some more. But yeah. But because we're going backwards, there's more about the Patagonian giant.
There's more, but now there's more. Yeah.
The Qutb Minar
Qutb Minar Tower in Delhi. Yeah. So it's an iron column. It's 7.5 meters tall. The diameter at the base is 41.6 centimeters, and the top is slightly narrowed. The upper diameter is about 30 centimeters. The column weighs 6.8 tons. Who, when, and where, because it wasn't made in Delhi, was it created? To this day, it remains a mystery. The most interesting thing is the composition of the column. It is 99.72% iron, and only 0.28% are impurities. There is almost no corrosion on the black-blue surface of the megalite. Only barely visible spots. The strange thing is that the production of pure iron is very difficult, and it's not done on a large scale.
Forwarded a lot of Forbidden Science on Telegram. You forwarded a lot from there, haven't you? So
yeah,
give him a shill.
Yeah, that's right. So this is from Forbidden Science, and it says, so the iron of such purity, even with modern equipment, it's simply not realistic. So it's just, who's mass producing 6.8 tons of pure iron to make a column with some squiggles on it? I don't know what those squiggles are. I don't think it's Sanskrit. I'm not sure what language that is.
Cuneiform? It looks like cuneiform.
Does it?
A kind of cuneiform.
Looks a bit like Ching Chong to me.
No.
Yeah, it does look a bit.
It's not. It's not.
Is it Tibetan? What is? You know what? I'm going to look up. So it's called the Qutb.
Sanskrit. It's not. Yeah, it might be Sanskrit, right?
Qutb Minar Tower letters.
Language.
Let's see if so. Qutb Minar. Let's go on Wikipedia. Well, that's a different. That's a different thing. This is showing a different tower.
Try iron.
Oh, guess what? Guess what? It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Oh,
dun, 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 dun,
fucking They just get more suspicious every day, don't they? Like...
So let's look up the Qutb Minar iron. Oh, it's part of the complex. So let's just look at the complex. So Qutb Minar is inspired by the minaret of Jam in Afghanistan. Yeah, but that's the stuff. Come on, I want to know about the iron column in it. There's a mosque.
What
there's
iron
some intricate. The Iron Pillar in the Qutb complex. The Iron Pillar is one of the most foremost metallurgical curiosities. The pillar, 7.21 meters high and weighing more than 6 tons, was originally erected by Chandragupta II of Vikram between 375 and 400.
Really?
Yeah. Which was erected somewhere between 375 and 414 AD. That's Anno Domini, year of our Lord Jesus Christ. In front of Vishnu temple complex at Udayagiri around 402 AD, and later shifted by Angangbal in the 10th century. Oh, the 10th century CE, yes, the Christian era, from Udayagiri to its present location. Angangbal built a Vishnu temple here and wanted this pillar to be part of that temple. The pillar bears an inscription in Sanskrit in the Brahmi script dating 4th century AD, which indicates that the pillar was set up as a Vishnu Dvajavaja, which is the standard of God, on the hill known as Vishnupada, in memory of a mighty...
To quote Captain America in the Avengers, I'm pretty sure I know... Well, what's he say about God? And I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that.
So it says Vishnu Padra, in memory of a mighty king named Chandra, believed to be Chandragupta II. A deep socket in the top of this ornate capital suggests that it is probably an image of Garuda was fixed onto it, common in such flagpoles. So I don't know, but it's Sanskrit on it. So funny enough,
if Brutus weren't such a big girl, we could have asked him on to tell us about it.
Yes, but has he done any shows since the initial one?
I think he did a couple and then stopped.
That's so sad. Brutus come back.
Oh, Brutus, don't go.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you put that Twilight Zone episode in for, Fraser?
Oh, that was mine. Actually, it's not the Twilight Zone. It's actually a 52-second video of a plane ride between dusk and... it's dawn and night, basically. It's quite fascinating because it basically shows that light doesn't travel that far. Like you can literally see the Twilight Zone kind of thing.
That's right. He zooms in on a city nightscape with its light tower, and then zooms out, and then from the zooming out you can see the Twilight Zone and then the dawn further on.
Yeah.
So it's quite unusual because I say it's unusual, but if you were to consider that in fact the sun is quite close to us, then that would make sense that the light wouldn't go that far. And then there's a diagram here showing the east and the west coast of America, because a load of people say, the Native Americans came from the west coast over the Bering Strait. And it says, so the First Nations crossed the land bridge in Alaska. Then why are the oldest sites on the east coast? And also, in addition to that, the stone tools found in the east coast are more advanced than the stone tools found in the west coast. And more importantly, whilst the stones on the west coast are a more primitive form of flint technology, what I mean to say, there's the Mesolithic and the Neolithic periods. So a primitive stone tool would be like, say you want to make like a cutting tool or something. Well, what you can do is you can get some flint and you can bash it in the rock, and then you get loads of flint chips which are sharp. And then you can just hammer or wedge those into a piece of bone or wood, and now you've got yourself a rudimentary cutting tool. And it works, but the thing is, you're dealing with little chips of flint. It's not very good. So a better cutting tool would be if you get a piece of flint, and instead of just bashing it and dealing with little shards, you nap the flint carefully, and then you end up with a long continuous cutting blade. And that's seen in the Neolithic period, which happened in what we now call Europe. But, sort of that area there. So the fact that on the East Coast you've got napped flint, whereas on the West Coast you've got smashed flint, shows that they have got a connection to what would have been called the Fortean man, which during the Ice Age could have crossed over from Europe using the ice flows and glaciers to rest upon. And so that's why they've got the same Neolithic stone techniques, whereas on the West Coast you've got Mesolithic stone techniques, which was done by the less advanced Asiatic slitty eyes that came over on the Bering Strait. I am interested in Stone Age technology. I find it fascinating that for 500,000 years we were using stone tools, and then suddenly figured out, like, this bronze stuff's pretty interesting, as is this copper and iron. Maybe we should try making tools out of that then. Yeah, all right, let's give it a go. And then suddenly we get metalworking, and from metalworking we get all the sciences, because you've got fire, you've got chemistry. Blacksmiths had to understand chemistry, because in order to do alloys, you have to know that you can combine various substances together and you get, like, new ones. So that's where you get alchemy.
So what's this? What's the psychobabble above then?
What about the pyramid?
No, be me. See Facebook boomer post pyramid light speed gif.
Oh yeah. Pyramid light speak. This is a 4chan thing. Chuckle genially use my C+ calculus intellect to disprove the nonsense of stupidity. Right, so this is a boomer post about the pyramid. So we got some images here, and it says 1 day for humanity equals 86,400 seconds. Does it? So one hour is 3,600 seconds. So if you times that by 10, you get 36. So yeah, okay, 24 hours is 86,400. Yeah, that's all right. So
days aren't quite right, are they? Because our year is 365 quarter days.
I was just doing a thing of 10 hours is going to be 3,600 seconds.
Right.
So yeah, 20 hours would be like 72, and then so 86,400 looks right to me. So it's saying here 0.864 of an hour equals 51 degrees, 50 minutes, 40 seconds. So you know this thing about minutes and seconds, degrees of an arc.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So just for those not familiar, when you're trying to do a fraction of a degree, you describe it like, say you want to say like it's halfway between 1 and 2 degrees. You'd say, well, it's 1 degree in 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's 100 minutes in it. And if you wanted to say, it's sort of like 2/3 between 1 and 2, well, you'd say it's 1 degree, 66 minutes, 66 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, 0.864 of an hour equals 51 degrees. Right. Okay. The slope of the pyramid equals 51 degrees, 50 minutes, and 40 seconds. And then I assume that symbol is phi, which is not pi. Phi is another one of those magic numbers. Phi equals 1.6180, which if you divide it by pi, which is 3.145...
No, the symbol is pi.
Right, yeah, but...
Yeah.
Right, so phi divided by pi equals 0.515040.
Yeah.
And the diameter of the sun is 0.515036. The perimeter is 0.572543 miles, which plus 8.64% equals 622 miles. The average circumference of the Earth is 622 miles. So it's one of those like fun boomer posts, like look at all these mathematical coincidences related to the sun, the circumference of the Earth, and the length of a day. And then the diagram underneath it
is what's this diagram
Well, that's
here?
the one
So it says,
I'll put up the one underneath.
oh yeah,
I'll
yeah.
actually
So
put
the
the other one.
circumference outer circle is 1,023 meters. Circumference of the inner circle is 723 meters. So the difference in circumference is nearly 300 meters. There are 299. It's the same number. Is millions of meters per second equals the speed of light. The correlation is 99% accurate. So the difference between the outer circle and the inner circle is the speed of light, which is quite interesting. So this is why we get the 4chan shit post below it, which says, being me, you see Facebook Burma post about the pyramid showing light speed. Chuckle genially using my C+ calculus intellect to disprove the nonsense and stupidity. Be me, get my ass handed to me, finding the light speed, which was precisely discovered in 1975 by Laser, which is pi at the bottom, golden ratio, phi at the top. Use 35 days to calculate and find more pi 10 times. Use 35 days to calculate and find more pi, 10 times not a fucking fluke, and even the spacing of the internal structure is a Fibonacci sequence. Be super autismo, make my own model in my free time at Christmas using a bad autismetry program, one I still have from college. Calculate with today's measurements on the pyramid on pi. Find for phi 4 to the power of 2 divided by pi to the power of 2 equals 0.160. Well, so there's a bunch of numbers here, and I don't really understand them. You can look at the post yourself. You understand maths. So in other words, the total area of the base equals phi, which is the golden ratio. Phi is certain from 99.84 to 99.97%. To be a fluke like that is to win the lottery 6 times, to be hit by a meteor at the same time. So yeah, these numbers aren't coincidental. The pyramid has got some very clever mathematics behind it, related to the golden ratio and also related to pi, the speed of light, the circumference of the Earth, and everything. So Hobbit, did you just disprove flat Earth? No, I haven't. Because if you remember my episode about
there's a flat Earth versus globe Earth debate on the Truth Awakening channel. Yeah.
Okay.
Chris has just put it in the what's it?
Karaoke is Japanese for ting tong sing song. Says, is it true that Africa didn't have a Bronze Age and someone went there one day and showed them how to make steel and wheels and musical instruments? The pyramid was a power station, free energy. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the Truth Awakening channel. You should forward the link into it to the
link's in
Words
37 actually. I'll just forward that message in there then.
There was a good article. So this was going back to, well, if you just search, because you can do that in Telegram, you do Control F and it'll search, and no idea how to do it on the phone because can you search on the phone? Anyway, Glastonbury Abbey, Earth Energies.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, well, hold on, you're missing something. The PDF I put in there, which was, you remember?
The production of ecstasy in the Netherlands.
Really good PDF that, isn't it? Do you remember it was like most of our episode on ecstasy, weren't it? From episode
ecstasy.
4 or 5, 5 or 6.
But also 129. Aren't plants weird?
Yeah.
Like, they do all these strange things, and like, how does a bee orchid know how to look like a bee? Yeah, aren't plants amazing? Was it that? I can't believe that was so long ago. Aren't plants are amazing? Because that was a good one.
Yeah, that's slime, wasn't it? Is that the one with the slime?
The slime mold, which, as I found out, it's not a plant, it's not a fungus, it's a slime mold.
It's an algae.
Is it?
I don't know. Is it? Might be an
algae. No, it's not. It's a slime mold. It's its own thing.
A slime mold. A lot of heavy talk on slime molds. That was.
Yeah. Because slime molds are a weird thing. Yeah.
That's a good one there.
So yeah, there's some stuff about giants and King Arthur, and Glastonbury Abbey is an interesting place. I should visit it sometime.
A bit of Essex Boys stuff. I will do the Essex Boys. I'll get to the Essex Boys. I'm just kind of stopped reading about them at the minute. I got kind of like my head just got full up with Essex Boys stuff.
So it was a really good phone-in show. You know, we had a few guests on, and we really appreciate it. And everybody else, you know, is just they're scared to be on the radio, aren't they? I mean, what if like their mates in the pub hear them and it's like, you fumbled and got it wrong. You're a dickhead. Not like those professionals that do it every week. So we've got 7 minutes of our show left. Shall we do some unexplained histories?
Yeah, we haven't done it for a while, have we?
And speaking of the golden ratio shower,
7 days ago. Yeah, a while. Yeah, okay.
No, we did the last episode on Wednesday because the thing.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's a little cute alligator on there.
An alligator.
Yeah. You not seen that one? The little cute
I don't know.
alligator.
But what I do know is I want to eat something. It's weird.
I'm
I've had
absolutely knackered. I'm about ready for bed.
Yeah, I am too. I've been really tired like the past few days.
Yeah, I think.
But then again, my work.
Chess robot breaks boy's finger during.
Based.
But,
Fuck you, you annoying little bow tie wearing prick. I bet that kid wears a bow tie, don't he?
But I've read the story, right? And what happened is the robot wasn't done making its move, and the boy decided he was going to play. Now, he was told the rules. You don't make a move until the other opponent makes his move. And then he thought he could just be a cheaty little bastard, make his move, and the robot wouldn't know. So the robot stopped him and squeezed his finger so hard it broke his bones. Well, that kid's never going to cheat again.
Was it literally like in? It would have been. Only would have been better if it was like in Jurassic Park.
Oh, I can't let you do that, Dave.
What are you doing, Dave? What are you doing, Dave?
Dom asks the pertinent question: is Toxic Crusader a slime mold? He had the best line. I hope I don't get hurt.
Yeah. Unlike this little bastard who tried to cheat.
Oh God, not the thing with the female masks. That's horrible. That's it's like proto-tranny stuff.
Hey, weren't we talking about falling space drunk the other week? I think they listened to our show because there's an article.
How likely are you to be killed by falling space junk? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Oh no, that was the conversation we had in.
Literally last week we were talking about space junk, weren't we?
Yeah, and now someone's listening to us, you know, for content, obviously.
Yeah. So how likely are you?
The chance of someone being killed by a piece of space junk falling from the sky may seem ridiculously tiny. After all, nobody's yet died from such an accident. Although there's been instances of injury and damage to property, but given that we are launching an increasing number of satellites, rockets, and probes, blah blah, in space, we do need to start to take risks more seriously. A new study published by Nature Astronomy has estimated the chance of casualties from falling rocket parts over the next 10 years. Every minute of every day, debris rains down on us from space, a hazard we are almost completely unaware of.
There is no actual figure in there.
Blah, blah, blah. No, there's no figure.
There's no figure. No. How likely are you? I don't know.
Well, maybe, yeah. Fucking. You know.
Albert, can you see it? Can you see a figure in there?
Okay, so it says they has estimated chances of casualties. Yeah, so where's the number? Yeah, there is no number. Nice, good one. The chances are
another classic study from. Brought to
oh
you
wait, no. There
is
a number. Aha. The authors have calculated a casualty expectation. The risk to human life. Over the next decade, as a result of uncontrolled rocket re-entries, assuming that each re-entry spreads lethal debris over an area 10 square meters, they found that there is a 10% chance of one or more casualties over the next decade.
Wow.
On average.
Fucking hell. There's a 10% chance one person could be hit in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Or two, maybe.
Maybe two.
Two people.
Might be three. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a 10% chance one or two people in the next 10 years will be hit by some falling space rocket. If Uncontrolled rocket re-entries spread lethal debris over an area of 10 square meters. If they don't do it over 10 square meters, well, I guess then it goes down, doesn't it? Like, but if it goes more than 10 square meters, that might increase it as well. You know, I guess so.
Woman rents a car and finds a corpse in the boot. A woman from Ireland had been driving a rental car when she discovered something made her blood run cold. The woman, who was in her 20s, had rented a car and was heading to the village of Mulnivat in County Kilkenny, when she noticed a bad smell coming from inside the vehicle. Upon starting to investigate, she was shocked to discover a dead body in the boot of the car. That valet really did a fucking great job then, didn't he? It remains unclear how the man died or how long he'd been lying in the boot before he was found.
Yeah.
How long can a person live normally with a part of their brain missing, and then they show a picture of Amelia Clark? Harsh but fair. I mean, fucking hell. I mean, if there's one person who was born to play one role and one role only, I mean, she's it, isn't she?
Oh, fucking hell, really? Okay, woman captures Bigfoot on trail camera. Came across something unexpected. She drove around the image, captured a remote woodland camera set up in Washington, Snoqualmie Valley.
Where do they get these weird fucking names from?
She expected to see deer, bears, cougars, and other wildlife. Instead, however, she saw what appeared to be a large man covered in hair. I just checked my camera, and that is deep in the woods behind Mount Si in the Snoqualmie Valley.
Fucking snow.
Earlier there is Snoqualmie in the area.
Snoqualmie? I think it's Snoqualmie.
Wait, so there's a where's the video? Right, if it's a camera.
No, I think the trail cameras.
It...
The trail cameras are the ones that take a picture based on movement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
So that's the picture.
I mean, like,
terrible positioning a camera, I've got to say, love. Absolutely terrible. I mean, what are you trying to catch there? There's fucking sunlight all over your screen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't really see anything, the facial features, or to.
Looks a bit like Peter Dinklage. I've got to say, it's got the Dinklage hair, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking, it could be
Peter
anyone.
Dinklage goes out for a walk. Is irate to be packed. He's been packed. Peter Dinklage.
There's no sense of scale as well either. Like, there's no way to tell how big it is.
Greyfriars Bobby. Is this one you know about, Fraser?
No, probably not.
It's a small dog spent 14 years guarding the grave of his deceased owner, John Gray, at Greyfriars Cemetery. The dog would go on to become a local celebrity. Upon his death, a statue was erected to commemorate his vigil. Even today, both the status and cemetery remain popular tourist attractions. They didn't know what he was. He was thought to be a Skye Terrier, but it turns out he's not. He's a Dandy Dinmont.
Right.
There you go. That's
there we are. Mystery solved.
Cleared up.
We can all sleep. Yeah. That's it then, I guess.
Should we do the spoopy photo, and then I think that'll do us, won't it?
Yeah. What's the spoopy photo?
Oh, that woman standing with her tits out, I think. Bikini? Has she got a bikini on? That's what it looks like to me.
Looking?
Ghost hunters photograph eerie figure in derelict church.
Oh, yeah. Let's have a look.
So it looks like a bird in the nuddy to me.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. Looks like she got a Bob's out.
Building itself is derelict and the upstairs floor is missing entirely. I mean, there's no way she could have been up there.
That was one of the most Fortean episodes we did, was about those unexplained murders. Like, how did someone get into that room when it was all locked?
Yeah. Didn't we actually solve most of them?
No.
I thought we realised that most of them are just like basic shit, and it's like dead obvious. What do you think that picture is of, Hobbit? We think it's one with Bob's out that window. And why don't ghosts wear shell suits? Why isn't she wearing a shell suit?
That's it. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, why are ghosts always like wearing like ancient shit? Why isn't there ghosts like recently then? Like
No
for a
ghosts in
few
shell
years,
suits.
you know.
That's Ian's bit, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Why is it like all the ghosts seem to be wearing like Elizabethan stuff? Why don't you ever see caveman ghosts?
Do you think it could be you do see ghosts of modern day people, but you don't realise they're ghosts?
That's maybe. Maybe, yeah, you're right.
That's my thing, anyway.
Yeah.
And then we're back to last week's bored housewife spent years faking Russian history on Wikipedia, but they don't tell you what she's faked.
Yeah.
So that's just to muddy the Tartaria waters, or saying that Russians are bad because they're saying that we call them we're Satanists, pedophiles.
Well, they probably don't want to like refer to like what is it, Fomenko or someone like, you know.
You lads ready for the future? They've got a 1,075,000,000 long skyscraper that could house 5 million people. So there you go.
Nice. Yeah.
It's just the same future where we got Fireflash.
I know. Actually, they're putting it in Saudi Arabia, so it's not us yet.
I know the one. Yeah, it's a city, and it's going to be all glass, and it's going to be zero carbon. So
let's finish this one. Saudi Arabian textbook shows Yoda at the UN. A doctored image of Yoda at the United Nations has somehow ended up in a history textbook.
Yeah, but that's like right next to the fish demon speaking for the United States.
That 404s. What's this one? So here's the picture. Yeah, that's literally that ended up in a school textbook. I'll bet that picture there.
Yep, pretty much.
Based.
I mean, what's less realistic, that or the fish demon in the UN?
Yeah. Well, they've done that, haven't they? Because then they can go, oh, no, you're not thinking of a fish demon. You're thinking at that time Yoda was in the UN.
Yeah, that's it.
Actually, one more. Kecksburg UFO Festival. There'll be lots of keks going on there, will there?
Over 6 million keks will be had.
Pennsylvania's most...
I'm surprised it's not being held in Kekistan, you know. Fucking Kekistani UFO Festival.
What happened to Kekistan?
Kekistan was just the people we met along the way, Hobbit.
Yeah.
But no, Kekistan's real. It's like Kekistan is real. Like the country of Israel.
Oh, Dom's... Right. I don't know what Dom's talking about. Dom's pulling you up on your pronunciation, Fraser. So he says, your pronunciation of debris doesn't fit in either the US or UK versions. Drop the S on the end. We put the stress on the first syllable, the Yanks on the second. Yeah, that is kind of... it is weird where Yanks put the stresses when they talk.
Why? What did I say? Did I do the Yank or the English?
How do you say debris, and then we'll know.
Debris.
Okay.
Why? What did I say? Debris or something? Debris. Oh, debris. Oh,
yeah.
Debris. Did I say debris? Okay. Yeah, I do say debris. Why? Is that... Yeah. Is that the American version?
I don't know. I've said debris before. Depends what...
Yeah.
Fraser said debris. Huge. Look, you've caused a huge stir in chat by your pronunciation of debris.
Debris. Debris.
Because I think the Yanks say debris, don't they? Because they say debris. Don't they? It's the way the Yanks.
Debris.
Yeah, because we say debris, they say debris. How do the French pronounce debris, Hobbit?
Debris. Debris. Le debris. No.
What is it with him tonight?
I don't know. He's eating, I think. He's trying to eat something.
Stop stuffing your face and just like do 10 seconds on this thing. I know French. What's the French for deja vu, Hobbit? Just rubbish. Daybreed.
Debris.
Right, so I'm just gonna.
Debris. Right. Yeah.
That's it. I'm not gonna play his shitty song neither because he's not talking to us.
I know.
I think that'll do us.
Right,
Byray just asked the question. We'll end on the question from Byray. How will Amelia Clark's career go on without her brain? Right, that's it. I've had enough. Night all.
Good night.
Stay spooky.